Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Tyler from the Unemployed Architects. This week I'm going to be talking about my shows this last weekend. Friday night I played in Pontiac at the Relay for Life event, and Saturday I played in Champaign at Clark Bar. So, pretty slow weekend for me, really, because Friday night I just had a 45-minute set. I had mentioned in previous podcasts that I had a place up north that canceled a bunch of shows on. It was kind of last minute, so I couldn't really rebook anything, and this was one of those dates. So I was supposed to play in Pontiac from 5 to 5:45 and then play up in Morris after that, but didn't have the Morris show, so, it's whatever. I could have really probably used the cash, but, what can you do? It was kind of nice to not be so stressed out and, rushing from one place to the next. But so Relay for Life in Pontiac was kind of a big event they do every year. I've done it every year for ever. But so it's it started, it was at the high school and in my hometown, kind of just outside, and people would walk the track while I played, and there's a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of ceremonies and stuff. And they've moved it to just downtown Pontiac, which is pretty cool. Go back and be kind of loud on the town square. I brought a very light setup since it was only a 45-minute set, and, it's for charity, so it was just kind of an acoustic performance. I got there, and there was, a municipal band playing on the stage, so I could have, waited and got on the stage and set up really fast, and then had to tear down really fast after for whatever was going on after me. But since it's, wasn't a big deal, so I just kind of set up to the left of the stage, just kind of did my own thing, took my time, didn't have much to set up, so that way I was just less stressed out. And then it was pretty hot out that day, but so I don't think there was as many people as there would have been if it was a little bit cooler, but it was a pretty straightforward thing. It was nothing too crazy. I was going to play mostly originals, but get ready for the Colorado tour, but I ended up doing probably a little bit less than half of covers. And I played a little bit long because I didn't have to worry about, tearing all my stuff down really fast and getting off for the next thing. So it was a fun little show. It wasn't, like I said, anything too exciting, but it wasn't a big cash cow or anything like that either, but it was fun. I think sometimes when there's no stakes and you're not being paid, and it's just more for fun, so you have a lot more fun. There's not as much stress that goes along with it, and I really made an effort to make that a priority. So it was fun. I had a good time, and got done early. The people that were putting on the ceremony, there's probably, I would say 200 people there, maybe. Of course, not when I played, but right after I played for the other stuff going on. But their sound system wasn't working, so I ended up and let them use mine for the remainder of their ceremony, which I thought was kind of funny that they had a bunch of crazy stuff set up all over, kind of carnival type feel, some tents, some food trucks, stuff like that, concessions. Very organized except for the sound, which, in my experience, does seem to be a last priority a lot of the time, even though it's if they didn't have the sound system, nobody would have been able to hear all the other stuff. But it's just kind of funny, not a big deal, but I let them use my stuff, and that made me kind of have to stay way longer than I would have. I mean, I went around Pontiac and saw some friends and some family and got some food and stuff, but I didn't get out of there till 9. I probably would have left at 7:30 or 8, I would imagine, if I didn't have to do that. But so yeah, that was Friday night. It was a good show, nothing too exciting, but fun because no stakes. I think that adds a lot. And then Saturday night we played down in Clark Bar, which I talked about previously, about how they kind of shortchanged us a few times, but ultimately, I'm pretty sure it was just miscommunication because they booked us on Thursday for rescheduled shows. The initial shows were booked on Saturday, and I think they pay more for Saturdays than they do Thursdays, but of course nobody told me, and the person who booked the show doesn't work there anymore, so that was a little discouraging. But this show was actually pretty good, and they paid us the full amount, and I did a one mic setup with me and Lo. It was super nice outside this day. They have like a little beer garden, and it was pretty breezy out, and I had to work that day, so it was a little bit stressful on that front. I had to I ended up staying way later than I had initially planned, which was a little frustrating, and then rushed home and then rushed out, and we got there, but we were probably a little later than usual. But since I was just doing one mic and the JBL, so I do like a condenser mic through my vocal pedal, and then I plug my guitar into my pedal board and plug it into channel 2. But I keep the second channel on the JBL, pretty low, because the one mic, kind of picks up the guitar as well, because I keep it pretty hot, so that way I can kind of use like mic position for when I'm singing quiet, when I'm singing loud. And then Laura Lynn was there with me, so it's picking up 2 vocals instead of 1, and you can kind of move. So when she sings lead, she's kind of more in the mic and I'm more in the back, and then when I sing lead, I'm more in the front, she's more in the back, and we kind of share it. But that is another one of those things. I said the other show was like no stakes, and that was kind of stressless, and doing it this way was, since there's not a lot of setup that goes on with this setup, it's super straightforward. So, I could probably get almost all the way set up in 25 minutes in this. So even if I'm running late, I can still, have plenty of time to kind of chill before we actually have to perform. It was a slow start on the show. There were a couple people that were definitely there, and there was a table in the back that I think came specifically for us, and there was another group of 2, like a couple that was, very engaged like the whole time. The table in the back, they had seen us before for sure, because I talked to them later, but they were kind of just in their own world. And I think with the setup I was doing, it's definitely more background type music. The closer you are, kind of the more you can hear it, and the more like you have to like really listen to hear it. But the further back, I think we don't hear them being loud, and they don't. We're just kind of very quiet to them. So but that was like a maybe 6 or 7 top, that table that came to see us, which was super cool. But and it was just kind of, me and Lo were both a little bit in a funk at the start, and we were just trying to kind of get out of it. But it didn't seem like besides that couple that came and kind of were engaged the whole time, it didn't feel like we were really grabbing anybody until about halfway through. There was a group of fellas that came. I think it was like 3 people, and they just were like, "This is awesome, you guys are so good," and they were just reciprocating the energy like tenfold. And then another table came behind them that was really engaged the whole time, and then that couple was still there. So it was like, and then that table in the back, I think the more they drank, the more they kind of were into it, and it was just like a really fun show after about halfway through. But that's kind of I think the thing with playing like, a little bit earlier, because it was a 6:30 to 9:30 show. If we would have started at like 8, I feel like, we probably wouldn't have been the same crowd at all, but it would have, people are a little bit looser at 8 o'clock than they are at, 6, right after they get off work. Just come and have some, like a meal and some beers. You're not really as engaged, I think. I think you're just kind of unwinding more so. But it was fun. Like, I had a really good time, and the people. There was a guy that said he was an actor from L.A. that like was just like revisiting some old friends in Champaign, and he really brought up the energy and was like, clapping after every song and trying to get the crowd behind us even more into it. And it's amazing really how much you can be in a funk, and then you have a little bit of just energy on the crowd, and it just completely lifts you out of it. And It was just a lot of fun. I mean, we just had a blast after that. We were playing a lot of like 90s covers that they seemed to really enjoy, and then throwing our originals in there, which they also enjoyed. I had some CDs, got a lot of those out, got some stickers out, stuff like that. And it was just, and they paid us the right amount. We made a ton in tips, so it was like really almost a perfect night, I would say. And the weather was super nice. It was a little buggy, but, you'll have that in the summertime. So that was the Saturday show, and Sunday I ended up going to Peoria to record more with my buddy that recorded our first album, our first EP and album. And, I got over there around like 1. I probably stayed till 5. I was working on a song with him called Montauk, and he kind of picked the one that we're working on. It's a little bit slower of a song, but I was kind of surprised he picked it, since he kind of leans more on the metal side of things. But because I played him like 15 of my new songs, and that's the one he picked. But it's been fun. I mean, I had like last time I went, I recorded all the acoustic guitars. This time I did all the vocals, and like all the other music is there, but it's not necessarily the final. So I mean, and the vocals I did, we got kind of generally mixed and kind of cut the way we want it to be, but I'm probably going to have to do some tweaking on it. I did like 10 takes in a row of the full song, which isn't usually the way I do it, but it was kind of a interesting way of, approaching it. And then in each take, I, kind of tried something a little different. And it's just a different mentality when it's like, you're not, because he's not charging us for this song. He's just doing it because I think he's kind of bored. And he wants a project to work on, and kind of maybe something to show off what he can do, so he can charge other people. And, which is super awesome, super nice of him, because, recording is so expensive, and he can really make it sound like pretty good. So, got all the vocals laid down. I think I did like 10 takes on them, and we did some, general mixing, and he's been mixing and mastering another song for me, so we kind of worked on that a little bit at the beginning, which that one's like almost there as far as done. I want it to be done so bad, but there's just like one tiny thing that's bugging me. It's like the thing that was bugging me on the last round that he did, he all but eradicated. So like it's very, very subtle, but of course, in my mind, that's like all I can hear when I listen to it. And I mean, it's overall not like the best quality recording. I don't know. I want it to be as good as it could be, and since I did it on the iPad, I might be being a little, my expectation might be a little bit high, but I just want it to not like pop out as being like super lo-fi, or I guess lo-fi would kind of be in a good way, but like low quality, I guess is what I'm saying, for the one I'm doing on the iPad. So I want it, I want it to be different. I want it to sound, it's a simple song. It's all about the lyrics, and there's definitely acoustic guitar, a little bit of percussion, a little bit of bass, but I mean, some synths and stuff like that. But I really want the vocals to be like the main thing, and like the words to really be heard and stuff. So that's like right there, which I probably could release it right now, but I just I don't know. There's no deadline really, so it's like I could just do one more master essentially, and then be done with it. And then so that song is like 98% done, and then the one I did that Jeff is actually recording for us, like the full mix and everything he's doing, tracking and mix and master. So that one's starting to take like some real shape, because I got the real vocals in there finally, because they were from before it was just scratch vocals. So I have the real vocals, I have the real acoustic, just need the bass, the congas, and the backup vocals, and then that one will be done, which I'll probably do the bass and congas in one day, and then do the backup vocals and mixing hopefully in another day. So 2 more sessions there, and I'll probably be done. And then Monday night, I actually recorded at Eclipse, so for song number 3, and that song was just like bare bones instrumental, just acoustic mandolin, bass, and drums. And so, we kind of remixed all that stuff and added some percussive elements that weren't quite in there yet, added some synths to that as well, and then I did all the vocals. So, really all we have to do, and it's really taken shape as well. So it's like I feel like finally I've actually done something, I guess, because up until this point, it hadn't really feel like anything was even close to being done. But now I'm on two of them, I'm probably one session away from being done, and then the third one, I'm probably 2 sessions away. So once I get all those done, it's just going to be on. It's going to feel very, very nice. And then I can kind of stagger the releases of them as singles, and then I can start working on maybe another iPad song, and I don't know, go from there. But, I'm pretty excited about these songs. They are definitely different. We don't have Blair on any of them because he hasn't really been playing with us much, and he doesn't really seem, necessarily. I don't know if he would even want to if I ask him, but I wouldn't be opposed to maybe him playing on the one that Jeff's doing for free. But again, I don't know. I'll probably mention it to him. If he wants to do it, he can do it. If he doesn't, that's fine. It's kind of having and maybe if he doesn't want to do it, I'll just have Jeff. I don't think any of these songs really need a very prominent electric guitar. They're all kind of folky. So, I obviously love to have any of his input, but, I just want him to want to do it. But anyway, so it's an exciting time on that front because, all those songs are right there. So it's in the next probably 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be, actually completing stuff, which is going to feel very nice. And then everything else I've been doing has really just been getting ready for the Colorado tour. So I can't believe that it's a week and a day away. We leave Thursday of next week. We play in Lincoln, Nebraska. Then we play Boulder, Colorado, a little town called Grand Lake up in the mountains, which is a really cool looking place. It has, it's very mountainous, and then it's right on a lake, so it looks like a painting kind of. And then Sunday we're playing in Fort Collins at Odell Brewing Company, and then Tuesday we were in Evergreen in a place called the Little Bear Saloon, and we have a few days off. We have Monday and Wednesday off, but Wednesday night we're seeing Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats at Red Rocks, which every time I went to Red Rocks, just like a mind-altering experience for sure. It's crazy, looks amazing and sounds amazing. And it's this year, it's the first year we went, it was Local Natives, which is a band I really like, but they were kind of just opening for a different band that I'm not as familiar with, and it was okay. It just wasn't really my cup of tea necessarily. And then last year, Jason Mraz played during the time that we were there, and I kind of like some of Jason Mraz's stuff, but both those shows too we missed some of because it was they were both Sunday night shows, and we had shows on Sunday at Odell Brewing Company. So after that show, we had to rush to Red Rocks to try to make it, and we did, but we missed a lot of the show. On the Mraz show, we probably were there for the last 8 songs or something. Well, we actually saw a decent amount of Local Natives, so that's a band I really like. But this year, the main band is Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats, and we don't have anything else going on, so we'll see the whole show, and we'll be kind of the hard part of the tour will be over. We're staying at a place not far from Red Rocks, and it won't be a long drive or anything, so we might go early and just kind of explore Red Rocks a little bit. I don't know. It's just going to be super fun. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that. And then, so next week I am playing, or I guess technically this weekend, but next week what I'll be talking about on the podcast will be my show Friday night in Bloomington at Cadillac Jack's, and then Saturday night we are over in Peoria at Oliver's North. So, and these are we're going to treat these Colorado prep shows. So the first one we're doing a full setup, me, Dave, and Lo, with my foot foot percussion and Dave's full congas, and then the second night and the Oliver's, which will be outside, so hopefully it'll be a nice day. We're going to do a one mic setup because out in Colorado we have the first night we're full setup, second night we're minus the foot percussion, third night, that would be Saturday, we're full setup, Sunday we're full setup, and then Tuesday we're doing like a one mic kind of smaller setup with, I think Dave's just going to bring one conga to that show. So this weekend, we're really just trying to, I'm using all the same equipment I'm going to be using out in Colorado and just getting everything ready and having a good set list to kind of get us ready. So crazy. I can't believe it's next week. But anyway, so that's what I'll be talking about next week, and I'm sure I'll be, talking more about the Colorado tour stuff because that'll be like the next day essentially from when I record the podcast for this coming weekend. So that's what I'll be talking about next time, and thanks for listening as always. Have a good rest of your week.